Let's go.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took a red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories I forget. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? Okay. Oh, we got some news. We haven't got the Epstein list yet, as far as I know, but I'm still waiting. And the next 2 or 3 days are going to be quite difficult for me I won't be able to jump on live. I'll have to do videos instead, I think, because my little granddaughter is coming. Hey Deb, hey out to lunch. Hey Timmy, how you going? Hey, Timmy, you up for a call in on Rumble? It won't be long. I'll probably be an hour here, maybe, and then over to Rumble. Okay, and out to lunch is you have my wife saying love and mate. How you going, love? How you going, mate? Okay, let's have a look at this. Wall Street Maverick said, or Wall Street Mav, so the German election results won't change anything. The establishment parties, CDU and SPD, won't have enough for a majority, so they'll likely include the Greens. This coalition won't be able to agree on anything. The AFD got 20%, wants mass deportations big enough to block the big two parties, but not big enough to force changes. The slow death of Germany continues. How sad. But I think that's because of immigrants. Okay, Naomi is zipped. I don't know how to say that. Why did East Germany predominantly vote for the AFD? Remember the Berlin Wall? Because they have experience with socialism and they never want to suffer the horrors of Marxist tyranny again. Okay, these are the people who voted for the AFD, and this is all the people who voted for the main party. What do you think? I reckon immigration. The map shows the results of the election to the European Parliament in 2024, not for the elections to the Bundestag in 2025. Oh, we'll soon find out. Oh, shoot. We'll soon find out. Lucky I didn't go too far into it. Okay, and this one. Dr. Malouf said Islamist men in Germany, when we become the majority, we'll take over Germany by force. German laws will be replaced by Sharia law. If the Germans stand against us, they'll be attacked. Christians and Jews will have to convert or leave. Only the AfD could have saved Germany. And this is what I'm hearing in Australia, the UK. I'm hearing people say this. They're actually saying it. Okay, they're saying, we will be the majority and see you guys later. Okay, excellent, Timmy. He'll call in. How you going, J1? And Dan, how you going? Brian in WI said apparently the migrants voted in Germany's elections and caused the AfD to lose. Okay, I want one of these too. Yep. Girthy B said, oh my God, I want one, but I want the Trump model and I'm going to fly it over liberal protests. Now watch this, right? Because, hang on, let me make it bigger. I'm going to take the sound out. I don't know if you've ever watched videos on YouTube of people seeing weird things flying around the sky, you know. Well, after watching this, I think I know what these weird things flying around the sky that look like human beings are. They're not real people, right? They're a new version of a kite by the look of it. Check it out. Yeah, let's have one of Trump and look, let me fly it over Parliament in Canberra, please. This one's got a Superman cape on. We need Batman. Where's Batman? We need Batman. Trump dressed in a Batman suit to fly over. All Liberal protests and Parliament House in Victoria and everywhere in Sydney and everywhere across Australia. To freak the hell out of people because I'd love to do it. Hey, Starchild, how you going? Okay, anyway, so if you see weird things on, you know, on YouTube that say, oh, look, this person was flying around. Because I've seen them years ago. Now I'm starting to wonder. And Vandersteel said, seeing this passed around, what do you think? The Trump Rules Congressional Reform Act of 2017. No tenure, no pension. A congressman or woman collects a salary while in office and receives no pay when they're out of office, and no more perks go with them. Oh, I wish we had this in Australia. Number 2, Congress past, present and future participates in Social Security. All funds in the Congressional Retirement Fund move to the Social Security system immediately. All future funds flow into the Social Security system, and Congress participates with the American people. It may not be used for any other purpose. Number 3, Congress must purchase their own retirement plan just as all Americans do. Number 4, Congress will no longer vote themselves a pay rise, congressional pay rise, by the lower of CPI or 3%. Number 5, Congress loses their current healthcare system and participates in the same healthcare system as the American people. Wouldn't you love to see that? 6, Congress must equally abide by all laws they impose on the American people, i.e. no more insider trading, no more special benefits, and no more rules for thee but not for me. Number 7, all contracts with past and present congressmen and women are void. The American people did not make this contract with congressmen and women. Congress made all these contracts by and for themselves. Serving in Congress is an honour and a privilege, not a career. The Founding Fathers envisioned citizen legislators should serve their terms, then go home and go back to work, not get all kinds of freebies. No wonder they're fighting everything he tries. Isn't that excellent? Wouldn't that be just... I'd love that here in Australia. Okay. This was funny. Elon Musk said, post your best unhinged NSFW grok posts to this thread And Richard James here said, dude, I live in the UK. I ain't posting shit right now. You'll get locked up. Well, so will we here in Australia, but I'm still talking. My subs are going backwards, but I'm still talking. Insurrection Barbie said, I hate to even have to debunk this, but I'm a firm believer that the way you combat lies, propaganda and hatred is not by censoring or name-calling, but by combating it with the truth. Okay, this person, I don't know what they think the truth is, unfortunately. I'm very tired of seeing ignorance and stupidity. Jewish people do not own all banks. They do not own the banking sector, lol. I know it sounds ridiculous, but my comments are inundated with stupidity. So, Industrial Commercial Bank of China owned by the Chinese. China Construction Bank owned by the Chinese state, sorry. The Bank of India, majority owned by the Indian government. Bank of China state owned. See if you recognise a pattern here. Qatar National Bank, 50% owned by Qatar Investment Authority. Saudi National Bank, majority owned by the Saudi government. Now, majority could be 51%, right? This 50%, I don't know. First Abu Dhabi Bank, government of Abu Dhabi, owns a majority stake. LBRY Bank, Saudi Arabia, founded by the LBRY family. Yeah, founded by, is it still run by them? Dubai Islamic Bank, majority owned by UAE investors. Kuwait Finance House, owned by Kuwaiti government investors. Abu Dhabi, government-linked. Bank Syria Indonesia, owned by Indonesian government. HSBC UK, founded by Thomas Sutherland, who was Scottish. Does he still own it? Santander Spain, founded by Emilio Boten, Spanish. USB Switzerland, originally Swiss-owned. Originally? Well, who's it owned by now? BBVA Spain, founded by Spanish investors. ICICI Bank India, Indian founded. Banco do Brasilia, Brazil, state-owned. And Sberbank, Russia, owned by the Russian government. James here said, wait, what did you debunk? That banks in China and the Middle East aren't owned by Jews? Did you want to touch on Western banks, reserve banks? People who can't stand MSM should see who owns them too. Wow, because this is like none of our Western nations are in here. Is that because they're all owned by Jewish? And I'm saying those who say they are Jewish but are not, okay? The real Jewish people I feel for. Not those who say they are Jews but are not. Same as those who say they are Christians but are not. It's written in the Bible. Go and have a look. Okay, Peter Sweden said, what if I told you a country imprisoned a journalist for publishing a documentary? They put him in solitary confinement for months. He cannot order food in prison. Friends are banned from visiting. This isn't North Korea. This is how Britain treats Tommy Robinson. Shameful. Doge News said USPS employee screams for help amid Trump and Doge's shake-up of the federal government, cracking down on waste and fraud. Okay, let's have a listen. I want to hear this because I think I feel the same way. And I'm in Australia. Okay, let's have a listen.
Good morning. On behalf of Americans with a little bit of common sense, we need help! Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Meteor Man, hell, Beanie Man at this point. Somebody help us! Please, fall from the sky, do something, get together. Do something, help us. Good morning.
I thought that was good. Help! For God's sake, somebody help! Chicago One Ray said, holy shit, Jim Comer is calling on Trump to disregard the pardons issued by Biden. I don't think the pardons will hold up in court. Which means Adam Schiff and Hunter Biden can be prosecuted if the DOJ pursues it. Let's go. ALX said, breaking Ukrainian President Zelensky says he's willing to resign as president in exchange for peace with Russia or NATO membership. Well, NATO membership is off the table, right, I believe, myself personally. You can have peace with Russia, but not NATO membership. And I'm sure that's what Trump's going to say. Ukraine does not qualify according to the NATO Charter. The NATO Charter states the parties to this treaty are determined to safeguard the freedom, common heritage and civilization of their peoples, founded on the principles of democracy, individual liberty and the rule of law. The parties will contribute towards the further development of peaceful and friendly international relations by strengthening, their free institutions, by bringing about a better understanding of the principles upon which these institutions are founded, and by promoting conditions of stability and well-being. Ukraine is one of the most corrupt nations in Europe. It cancelled elections, restricted free speech, formed a state-controlled media, persecuted religious minorities and violated human rights. It's absurd to risk starting World War III to grant a corrupt nation like Ukraine undeserving membership into NATO. I agree. Okay, out one more. Okay, EXX Alert said breaking. While Democrats melt down at Doge's access to the Internal Revenue Service, Byron Donalds reveals Joe Biden allowed 53 students and non-government workers full access to the IRS during his tenure as president. What are the Democrats hiding? Wow. Okay, Radio Genoa said he looks like an Islamic terrorist, but he's a politician in Leeds. The UK is lost. And this is how they take over. They don't have to fire a shot, mate. Same as the Chinese warships off Australia's coast. They don't have to fire a shot. At all. Andy Wigmore said the woke UK lefty is going to hate this. Shout out to Nigel Farage from Real Donald Trump. Ooh, let's have a listen.
The leader of the UK Reform Party, who, by the way, did really well in that last election. I've been his friend for a long time, and I wasn't sure, am I supposed to be his friend or not? But it never mattered to me if he did well or not. I always liked him, but it's easier to like him when he got the kind of votes he got. He really took it by storm, and they say he's going to do even better this time. Nigel Farage. Where is Nigel? Thank you, Nigel. Thank you. What a great guy. The leader of the...
There you go. If Trump's calling them out, saying they're a great guy, Nigel Farage. Oh, if I were in the UK, I'd vote not. What have you got to lose? Seriously? Senator Babette said, let's send the same email to every bureaucrat in Canberra. Rapid Response 47 said, just got this email. Where do we begin? What did you do last week? Please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullet points of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. Please do not send any classified information links or attachments. Deadline is this Monday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's what Elon sent all the government workers. So there you go. Jill said, hang on, Tanya pledges millions to the EDO activists. Albanese pledges millions to fight them. So we got one member of the party saying they're going to pledge millions to the EDO activists and Albanese's pledging to fight them. Yes, right, okay. Let's see how this one goes.
Dreyfus here with us and representatives of the Environmental Defenders Office. This is a wonderful announcement today that Labor, if elected, would restore $14 million of funding to environmental defenders offices nationally. We know that big corporations have deep pockets and they're able to employ expensive legal teams.
Prime Minister pledges $37 million to support sustainable practices and new legislation that ensures salmon farming in Tasmania's northwest can withstand legal challenges from environmental activists.
Dreyfus here with us and...
So they're paying both sides. The environmental activists, she's paying to help them and he's paying to stop them, so they're just funding each other to fight. That's all they're doing. Talk about money laundering. Senator Babette said, this is brilliant. I'm jealous of the United States under President Trump. They're entering a new golden age while Australia rots under weak leadership. We need this kind of fearless, take no prisoners energy here. Sue Ellen W. and Trumpeter Patriots, you're the only one who can make it happen. Liberal and Labor will never investigate themselves. Any so-called Doge under their control is doomed to fail. Canberra must be systematically dismantled if this nation is to have a future. It's time to break the cycle. Elon Musk said, consistent with President Real Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as resignation. Senator Babette said, I would fire most of Canberra if ever in power with prejudice. Yeah, let us at him as well. Am I doing all right? Deb said it's loading. Or buffering. Am I doing all right? Am I still here? I don't know. And is right said, this is outrageous. These Democrats are bloody thieves. I think their assets should be immediately frozen until a thorough investigation can be conducted. Ready for this one?
Breaking news. President Trump calls for an investigation to find out who in the government has been receiving kickbacks from USAID. And the fine employees at Doge have stated congressional audits shows 3 Democrat senators have gained more than $20 million in net worth, each with no plausible explanation. Which means that when asked, they have no idea how they got that money in their bank accounts. They said, and I quote, their wealth just appeared. And because of that, the files have been turned over to Pam Bondi at the Justice Department. Wealth just appeared, huh? You mean from USAID, right? So let me know what you think about this entire situation. If found guilty on taking taxpayer money to make their own pockets fatter, what kind of consequences do you think any of these people should get? Let me know in the comments. What?
Gitmo. That's what I think they should get. My goodness. How you going, Zena? George, how you going? Good to see you guys. Bridget Fertig said politicians have been saying Social Security would run out for years. Turns out it's because they've been stealing all the money. Yeah, I remember hearing about that in Australia, that our Social Security won't be there anymore. So you've got the same problem in the US. Yeah, okay. That's because they've been taking it all, pocketing it all, siphoning. Cat A said Joe Rogan surprises Woody Harrelson with a revelation that his friend RFK Jr. had his voice damaged by, a procedure. His condition is known as spasmodic dysphonia and started in 1996, so I was right. I was right ages ago when I said his voice was damaged by, I'll talk about that in Rumble anyway, by a certain thing, yeah. Okay, very interesting. Colonel Towner Watkins said, I have the tune, It's a Small World After All, running through my brain right now. Listen to this.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump on here and do a quick video. It's not going to actually be real quick, but quick enough. I found a new website that I had never seen before. It's swans.com. I live in Lakeland, the city of the Swans, so I just thought it was kind of interesting. And little did I know I was going to come across an article about the CIA by a guy by the name of Michael Barker, which is interesting because Barker is my maiden name. So he starts by saying, mention the CIA to most historically informed people, and they immediately envision assassination, coup d'etats, drug running, and covert wars. Who knew? Anyone else, they think of them as rogue elephants, bumbling fools, people who just can't get anything done that they're supposed to do, which is very interesting that they portray that as an actual image. And he says that he believes the CIA's commitment is to public activism. And by commitment, I do not refer to their dedication to infiltrating progressive social movements with informants and agents, although that they do that too. He is referring to their ongoing channeling of popular dissatisfaction and political processes on both a theoretical and a grassroots level, which of course we call the strategy of tension and sending in these survey teams to find the fault lines in order to destroy a country. Key organizations have historically played very important roles in this, to include liberal foundations. The two he calls out the most is the Ford Foundation and Rockefeller Foundation, which of course we've talked about. So it's just interesting that he's like hitting on all of the buttons here. Like most class-conscious institutions, the CIA is not stupid. They use PR firms in order to do their dirty work, which of course we've covered ad nauseum. one simple elite method of attacking popular social movements that challenge capitalist interest is to destroy their leaders. He wrote this in 2008. Firstly, by attempting to weaken their legitimacy in the cultural sphere, and when that fails, resorting to literally terminating their lives. Sound familiar? Almost like he had a crystal ball or something, or potentially was talking about JFK and the destruction of his reputation with all the alleged affairs, and then take him out when you can't otherwise handicap him. However, another more proactive and arguably more effective way of doing that is to co-opt dissent, a tactic that, if taken to its logical extreme, means manufacturing dissident groups which preempt organic grassroots responses like Patriot Front.
Like the Nazis in Australia, or like the white supremacists.
He's telling you their playbook here. He goes on to say, to be sure, truly revolutionary activity can never be funded by elites directly, so they have to go through all of these layers of plausible deniability with these funds and making it, they have to paint it all up as a humanitarian effort. It should not be surprising that the same elites who work within the upper echelons of both the CIA and these philanthropic organizations would ensure that the CIA, which was created in 1947, would play an important role in manipulating social movements around the globe. It is clear that the leading US-based liberal foundations were not CIA's unwitting dupes. However, given the progressive image of these philanthropic adventures and what they project to the public, revelations were discovered in 1960s that basically led to reforms, which weren't actually reforms at all, as we're going to cover here in a minute. But they wanted to institutionally isolate themselves from covert military operations that were being waged on behalf of the CIA. So in 1967, President Johnson appointed a 3-member committee headed by Undersecretary of State and former Ford Foundation fellow Nicholas Katzenbach, Katzenbach, John Garner, who just so happened to be the former president of Carnegie Corporation, and the CIA director, Richard Helms, to review the CIA's activity. According to the CIA-linked Time magazine, the committee recommended that secret funding of civil society groups be terminated. However, those groups needed to be able to obtain funding through private foundations. They just couldn't be seen. So therefore, you end up with public-private organizations, perhaps like they suggested, the Smithsonian Institute. And lo and behold, right after they did that, there was legislation that got drafted up for the National Endowment for Democracy. So, the National Endowment...
Timar28 tipped $5. She forgot the CAA, Creative Artists Agency.
Oh, God love you, Timmy. There you go. But that says a lot, doesn't it? Like, we know this already. The CIA, the USAID is a front group for the CIA to do their dirty work and not be linked to the CIA. Oh, my God. And they've done the same thing as what they've done here in Australia. But do you know there's a CIA office in Sydney? So that makes sense as to why there are white nationalists in Australia now. And people in the truth movement are sticking up for them. Okay, one easy way to... Oh, my God, people don't get it. Oh, no. Anyway, Timmy, you legend.
For Democracy official historian David Lowe notes shortly after Katzenberg's committee returned its findings that Congressman Dante Fascell, a Democrat from Florida, who I just did a thread on, by the way, because he's involved in the Inter-American Foundation, proposed a bill to create the Institute of International Affairs, which was an initiative that would authorize overt funding for democratic values. However, Lowe's continued that although the bill did not succeed, it helped lead the discussions on Capitol Hill to eventually end up with the 1969 approval of Inter-American Foundation. So Dante Fascell is the one who got the ball rolling. And you wouldn't find it at all weird that Dante Fascell is closely aligned with the CIA and the Cuban exile community in Miami, right? Right? You wouldn't be surprised at that at all, because that is our Gladio operators, and they're funding the Inter-American Foundation. They did the legislation for it, the whole concept. They got the foot in the door. The Cuban exile guy. CIA front. Okay. All right. A few years later, according to the National Endowment architects, George Weigel, William Douglas, there was a book written, Developing Democracy, that served to stimulate, wonder who, yeah, you can just see this happening, right?
She's dinging all over the place here.
Let's write a book and set the narrative, and then we're just going to use the book as the justification because you've done all the research. Okay, so Weigel noted that William Douglas drew extensively on the experience that he had with the American Labor Union. Hold on, what labor? Oh, the one with the Free Trade Union Institute, which was the institute that was going down for the Rockefellers and busting up all the unions so they could maintain their cheap labor. This is getting really close. This is really getting like a really small circle now that we start reading these things, now that we found out all the nodes. So the Free Labor Union Institute, who's a CIA front for busting up unions for the international syndicate for them to keep slave labor in Latin America, is working with the AFL-CIO in order to implement the legislation that just got passed to create the Inter-American Foundation. Okay, so got all of that. As a result of all of this activism, by 1980, the American Political Foundation, which Dante Fascell is also a member of, yes, he is, had established an office and was given a grant of $300,000 from who? USAID. No big deal. And they used it to generate paper and studies and everything else. For what purpose? To justify setting up the National Endowment for Democracy. You talk about a self-licking ice cream cone. This is so dirty, it's not even funny.
Jesus. That's insane. They need to be splintered into 1,000 pieces, never to come back together again. The Yorkshire lass said Russia, Russia, Russia all over again. Now they're coming out with disinformation and fake news with zero evidence. Just speculation and political rumours from a former head of the KGB in Kazakhstan, claiming on Facebook that Donald Trump was recruited in 1987. Trump's code name was Krasnov, apparently. Krasnov is of Russian origin and is derived from the word Krasny, meaning red and beautiful in Russian. Where the fuck are all the documentation and piles of evidence that Trump was a KGB spy? Why come out now and not before? If President Trump had really been a Russian spy for over 40 years, intelligence agencies around the world, especially in the US, would have detected some sign of an ongoing operation. Yet there's nothing, just some bullshit story made up on fascist book. They are getting desperate as the walls of exposure are closing in on them, so they're bringing out the fake Russian spy story at a time when the US and Russia are negotiating peace deals. I've never read so much bullocks in my life. Oh my God. They really are desperate. Oh, holy shit. Okay, the opinionated black woman auntie said there was a fraudulent citizenship ceremony in Orange, New South Wales, the day before, sorry. Labor and the Independent backed Simon Holmes a flog, who's chosen to use pink as her colour instead of teal, takes notes on who's sporting pink. Because let's face it, teal is as toxic as red or green. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. Labor and Teals were handing out campaign material for the upcoming election. During a citizenship ceremony. You're not allowed to do that, I don't believe. I don't mean to brag, but my local legend's status is such that whenever a politician or oh no, hang on. They don't answer the emails to this person anyway. Old Soldier said, coincidence, Dan Andrew joins Albo's election team and they start stacking electorates. That's what they're doing. I don't know if I can read this one out. I might read that one on Rumble. The Ukraine catastrophe is a Democrat deep state project. During the 2014 CIA coup, liar Victoria Nuland was caught secretly deciding who Ukraine's next prime minister would be. 2 years later, she said, "We never choose candidates in any country." Okay, I've got to turn my volume down. Let's have a listen to this.
We, of course, never choose candidates in any country. But what we do in countries that proclaim to be democracies is we offer the opportunity for candidates of all kinds to learn how to put themselves forward to best effect.
Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably.
We don't do that now, though. We don't mess around other people's elections, Jim.
Only for a very good cause.
Can you do that?
I think Yates is the guy who's got the economic experience, the governing experience. He's the guy, what he needs is Cleach and Tony Book on the outside. He needs to be talking to them 4 times a week. I just think Cleach going in, he's going to be at that level working for Yatsenyuk. It's just not going to work.
We, of course, never choose candidates in any country. We offer the opportunity for candidates of all kinds to learn how to put themselves forward to best effect, and we always support the right of peaceful political protest in any country.
She needs to be in prison. Victoria Nuland. She's a known warmonger. Awakened Outlaw said anyone paying attention knows this to have been true for some time now, but proving it was difficult to impossible because the operation was hidden from the public. Fortunately for the Dems, the gig is up. Now all those records are in the hands of the Doge team. In summary, the same people who can't shut the fuck up enough about saving our democracy have been knowingly running an industrial-scale legal alien voting operation for the express purpose of undermining our elections. We really don't hate these people enough. Wall Street Apes said the mainstream media is indirectly confirming millions of undocumented illegals have been able to vote. Here's how. Anyone get the feeling that Germany has done that too? Now that the DHS has requested information from the IRS, all of a sudden the mainstream is talking about illegals given ITIN numbers. They admit millions of illegals have been given ITIN numbers from the IRS, and here's why it's a big deal. The IRS gives illegals an ITIN number. With an ITIN number, they can get a driver's license. I've shared videos of illegals saying this is what they have been using to get a license. With a driver's license, they can vote. The mainstream media is confirming millions of illegals have gotten an ITIN number, which means millions of illegals have an easy way to vote in our elections. Quote, the information of millions is already on file because of the ITIN program. The IRS ITIN number program, it provides immigrants and their families with an identification number. So it's now being talked about on mainstream news. Trying to get ahead of the story at all? Okay. Wow. UNN said they're deliberately doing this to scare people. James Goddard said, welcome to the British police state. Detectives doorstop grandmother Helen Jones for criticising Labor councillors on Facebook. Meanwhile, foreign rapists and pedos go about their business unimpeded. Great Manchester police ask them. Yeah, I believe this, and showing like, same as when the pregnant woman got arrested in Australia during COVID lockdowns. They were trying to scare you from speaking. Do you see me being scared? Do you realise they've brought the same laws as England in Australia, in New South Wales particularly, where I am? I'm still speaking. They're going to have to cut me off or come and arrest me. HealthBot said pharmacy. That's what a pharmacy should look like. A lot of these are medicines. Do you know that? That's what it should look like. Okay, can I do this one here? Hello, George. How is it possible this entity, an entity who began merely asking questions on 4chan, 8chan, was able to... Okay, let me make this bigger and turn the sound down and let me go from the beginning and I'll read it. How can an entity known only as that person, faceless, nameless, fameless, etc., begin to ask questions on 4chan, now 8chan, and build something of this magnitude? How can this same entity garner such a massive amount of worldwide MSM fake news attention at attacks? How is it possible this entity can forecast future events or know when the POTUS is about to tweet? How is it possible future proves past RE information provided? How is it possible this entity, an entity who began by merely asking questions on 4chan, 8chan, was able to fill in the blank? Think logically. People are craving truth. People are craving transparency. People are craving equal justice under the law. People are craving good. People are craving right. People are craving true freedom. People are craving safety and security. People are craving fill in the blank. Proofs negate falsehoods, conspiracy attacks. Those who attack have an agenda or remain plugged into the biggest disinformation campaign to ever be witnessed. Ask yourself, why are Liberals always angry? Why do they curse? Why do they slander, push fake labels, racist, sexist, ists, or isms? Why do they create emotional outbursts when challenged? Why are they violent? Why do they form mobs or packs? Why are they incapable of listening to the other side? Fascist! When you don't have facts to support your arguments, present logical reasoning, you must resort to the above tactics. The narrative is designed to keep people in a constant state of fear, thereby forcing anger, rage and violence. Emotionally unstable people are easy to control. They want you divided by race, divided by class, divided by religion, divided by political affiliation, divided as human beings. Divided you are weak, together you are strong. When you are strong, you think for yourself. When you are strong, you challenge what you are told to believe. When you are strong, you are awake. When you are strong, you are no longer controlled. Trust yourself. Trust that you are not alone. Trust that there are good people right beside you fighting for what we know to be right. God bless you all. Where we go one, we go all. Signed, the board. Funny that, isn't it? Funny. Huh. How is that possible? And how is it possible that they're right all these years later? People don't like it. They really don't. Oh, my goodness. And what sort of like, what do you call it? PSYOP cult, right? Tells you to think for yourself instead of telling you what to think. All they did was ask questions. It was the people that went searching that found the answers. Champagne Joshi said a new stunning preprint researchers found that between 1994 and 2023, not one of the 82 climate science papers they identified had a financial or non-financial COI disclosure from at least one author. The research also found that fundings from NGOs was a significant predictor of studies reporting a positive association between climate change and hurricane behaviour. In other words, the science is bought and then presented to you as trustworthy in order to push through a sociopathic agenda intended to seize and consolidate power at the rest of our expense. Yep. Fake studies. Okay? Anyone who still believes it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. If you still believe in climate change, I have to question, a lot. I'm sorry. Elon Musk said doesn't add up. Sadie said, I'm beginning to understand why they're fighting so hard to stop Elon. Something is very wrong here. Lawmaker salary versus net worth. We already know this, but let's go over it again. Salary for Nancy Pelosi, $223K. Net worth, $202 million. I forgot his name. Salary, $200,000. Net worth, $95 million. Salary, $210,000. Net worth, $75 million. And Elizabeth Pocahontas here. Salary, $285K. Net worth, $67 million. Funny that, isn't it? Right now, their names have slipped my mind. I know who they are, but I just can't think of the name. Mick Amias said, you know what fixes a lot of these problems, right? Allowing people to carry a firearm and to be able to defend themselves accordingly. Now that Mick Amias is Australian. After all, laws don't stop bad people getting guns, and if police can't keep them in jail or attend, people should have the right to defend themselves. Clown Down Under. 3 teenagers of Aboriginal appearance have threatened a worker during a service station robbery at Ridleytown. Ridleyton? Who else is dying to reside in South Australia? Wow. Liz Churchill just put this and said arrest Adam Schiff. If you know, you know. Abusing. Pedo. Yeah. I feel sorry. I don't know if this kid knows or not, but oh shit. John Rocker said arrest Adam Schiff. Everyone, politics was trending. Arrest Adam Schiff. So everyone got on it, right? Holy shit. Not Up Q said we are the pronoun misgendering police. Mr. Janet, he, him. Not Up Q said his name is Governor Janet Mills. He wants men to play in women's sports. As POTUS Trump said, he, him. Let's not misgender him any longer. Yeah, that's not a woman. I'm sorry. Is this a moustache? Something's going on. Either that or they've had a big drink of chocolate milk. Very, very chocolatey chocolate milk before they started this. I don't know. That's a man. MAGA Voice said breaking. Doge has saved the American taxpayer over $125 billion now, plus. We the people want a refund. Keep firing people. And this sinkhole in Brazil is getting bigger and turning into something unbelievable, says Coogee. Yeah, nature claims it back. This says a lot for where our councils are allowing people to build homes these days, because here up in the mountains, right, they're letting them build nearly right to the edge of something like this, right? And I don't think it's a good idea. And this is, look at the stack and pack 'em houses, mate. Hang on, where was it? Where? Whoa. Shush music. Like, look at the houses are all so close to each other. Like, I don't know. If life has taught me anything in 54 years, it is you shouldn't live this close to people. Look at this. Look. Stack 'em, pack 'em. Houses. Forget the units. Like, that's bad enough, right? Wow. Wall Street Maverick said this is exactly what should be done. D-Franz all meme said Trump is doing the meme. Yeah, he needs to turn Zelensky upside down and start shaking him, the same as Macron. Go with Trudeau as well. Go with our Prime Minister. Why not? Combat says Mexico's President Claudia argues that if cartels are terrorists, then those supplying their weapons, over 74% of which came from the US, should be held accountable for aiding terrorism. In response, Mexico will expand its law against US gun manufacturers. She also proposed a constitutional reform to impose the harshest possible punishment on foreigners involved in arms trafficking or any form of interventionism in Mexico, reinforcing national sovereignty against external interference. Well, then go after Obama. Fast and Furious. Look up Operation Fast and Furious. The CIA as well has been funding the drug cartels to destabilise South American governments. So go for it, love. Go for it, because once they find out who really did it, it's going to backfire on them. Maybe she's in this position to do exactly this. so that the CIA and Obama, who reckons Obama's going to be the first one arrested? Eric Doherty said President Donald Trump just held a call with Canada PM Justin Trudeau. Trudeau told Trump Canada has enforced a 90% reduction in fentanyl crossing into the US and that the Canadian border czar would be in the US next week. Yeah, right. Do you believe him? Nick Sautor said Tom Homan just sent a strong warning to Boston authorities who are refusing to work with ICE. I'm coming to Boston and I'm bringing hell with me. Do it, mate. Do it. Donald Trump posts from his Truth Social. Melania and I are looking forward to dinner tonight at the White House with our nation's governors, both Republican and Democrat. Maybe this will be the start of unity for our nation. It will be interesting and fun. I'm sure he's going to have fun with some of those people. Elon Musk said the Doge alt. Alexander said Doge should be renamed to Federal Agency for Financial Oversight or simply, fuck around, find out. That would be excellent. Oh, mate, you got to repost that one. Bridget Fertig said, President Trump sternly says Adam Schiff needs to be tried for treason for 6 minutes straight. Nancy Pelosi too. He should resign from office in disgrace, and frankly, they should look at him for treason. I did nothing wrong unless you heard the Adam Schiff version. He made up my conversation. He actually made it up. It should be criminal. It should be treasonous. And he did. He made up the phone call that Trump had with Ukraine before he got in first time. And he started spouting off some shit. It wasn't even right. Trump released the whole phone call, and you can hear it wasn't right. Dr. Malouf said one day before the federal election in Germany, Islamists take to the streets demanding an Islamic caliphate and Sharia law. And this is why this person thought the AfD would win. But it didn't. MAGA Voice said, holy shit, Germany's AfD leader announces President Trump-like policies if elected. Close the border within 100 days, eliminate subsidies for asylum seekers and make Germany great again. And it's a shame she did not get in. And I believe someone's doing some fiddly stuff over there and they are importing and letting people who maybe shouldn't vote in their elections. How about Germany's elections for Germans? How about Australian elections for Australians? How about the US elections for US citizens? Like US, for Americans. Proud Army Brat said UPMC York Memorial Hospital active shooter update. UPMC bulletin released that assailant was on ICU floor, an officer was injured, multiple victims were taken to York Hospital, the gunman was neutralised, scary my daughter's an RN at UPMC. Another FF. You know what I'm talking about. Libs at TikTok said breaking President Trump is set to appoint FBI Director Kash Patel as acting head of the ATF ABC. Is that Australia Tobacco Firearms? Good, Kash can abolish the ATF. Oh, Democrats about to flip out with that too. Wow. Woke mind virus, social security fraud, Fort Knox, IRS, USAID. There's the chainsaw. It's all going on right now. G'day America said, okay, in response to AF post saying Ashley Sinclair provides her signal messages with Musk in paternity lawsuit. This woman Ashley is not to be trusted, says G'day America. Well, she had well thought out plans to entrap Elon. I need his rocket babies. Isabella Moody said, I agree with Laura Loomer. I wasn't going to post these, but now that Sinclair Ashley has leaked her private signal messages with Elon after lying and saying she wanted privacy, here's more evidence Ashley planned to baby trap Elon. She sent me these text messages in May 2023 when she first met Elon and started sleeping with him. She said, I need his rocket babies and I need a caption to seduce Elon Musk in May of 2023. See the dates below. She doesn't care about privacy. She planned to seduce him by her own admission, and now she's leaking his texts. So I'm leaking her texts to me now, because as Laura Loomer said, we need to condemn promiscuous gold diggers. Yep. I want privacy. Let me post screenshots of my encrypted messages on Signal that I took with a second phone so I could lie about respecting someone's privacy. And Elon Musk just wrote, whoa. Yep, I don't know. I would demand, if I was Elon, I'd demand a DNA test. Seriously. Leading reports said breaking Biden administration U.S. Marshals Service cannot account for billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, leading to speculation that it's been stolen. Wow. Elon Musk said, consistent with President Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees have received that email. JT said, copy, largest money laundering scheme in history has been uncovered by Doge, and its links to the Australian government. This story is now everywhere, including the MSN legacy media. And why is it even more important? That Australia is about to have its federal election. Do you not think that the Australian politicians on both sides, including the current and former prime ministers, are not receiving kickbacks and bribes from this money laundering operation? Well, they are. Look at who they meet with and who they're involved with. Peter Dutton even is a full supporter of Ukraine and its war that's been uncovered to be one of the largest beneficiaries of this money laundering operation. Peter Dutton is also on the take and a paid puppet just like Anthony Albanese and Scott Morrison. Did you know that Daniel Andrews personally met with Joe Biden in Melbourne as well as Hillary Clinton prior to the COVID scam that has now genocided millions of people? I'm going to get in trouble for this. Did you also know that Peter Dutton was the Minister of Defence under Scott Morrison before and during COVID? And then just the year prior to the scam, Peter Dutton organised a secret, not-so-secret meeting and gathering of all the heads of intelligence agencies in, yes, Melbourne, Australia, to discuss the implementation of the draconian and illegal measures and the NWO rollout we endured for the last 4 years. Present in that meeting was heads of the CIA, FBI, NSA, Mossad, and Israeli intelligence, GCHQ, British equivalent of the NSA, and ASD, Australian Signals Directorate, the Australian NSA. But wait, you didn't know about that meeting? That's because you were all distracted by the needles in Strawberry's propaganda smokescreen that was on the front page of every newspaper, so that none of you knew what was happening. Remember that story? At exactly the same time, they also revoked the visa of and banned David Icke from entering the country and giving a speech in Melbourne. At the same time, Peter Dutton's meeting was to take place. That is because he would have told everyone what is happening and about to happen in Australia and especially Melbourne. Peter Dutton, Scott Morrison, Anthony Albanese, Daniel Andrews, Brett Sutton, Jane Holton, the Governor-General and all the major politicians and premiers are on the take and paid by this money laundering operation that is beginning to be uncovered. Where do you think they got all the money to pay for their multi-million-dollar property portfolios on a government income and their staggering increase in personal wealth? They're all guilty of treason. For more information on who is involved and how this scam worked, watch the video below. It's on Rumble. It names names in their companies. Compare this list to the list of people and companies that's being uncovered by Doge right now. They're the same. Okay. I watched this. What I might try and do is, hang on a second. Let me pause this as soon as it pops up. Oh, it's paused. Okay, let me share it. I'm going to put them in the... Okay, copy. I copied it. Yep. Okay. I'm going to put it in the comments, guys. Just so if you want to go and have a look at them. That's the first one. Where was the next one? And this is the other one. Let me go pause this.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank you.
that. Thank you.
I now recognize...
Okay, and this is Forbes Breaking News on YouTube. I'm just going to put both of the links that they've put in there in... where am I? Holy shit. Where did I go? Okay, both the links are going to be in the comments section for you guys. Let me just close these back down. I did watch them yesterday, but I've watched so much stuff now that my mind's gone blank. Okay. The takedown is start. Well, look, the US aid is going to come, I believe it's going to tie into Australia, UK, Canada, Germany, everywhere. Every island, all of it. Valerie said, buying votes using your tax dollars, both Muppets throwing billions at our healthcare system. Now, did someone say election time? Opposition leader Peter Dutton announced his $9 billion investment to fix Medicare following Labor's Mediscare campaign. And Labor have just also said that they were going to fix Medicare and that you can go to the doctors for free. We used to be able to do that before Labor came into power. Real Ben said if you don't see it by now, you're either legitimately brain damaged in some way or being intentionally and willfully ignorant like a coward. There are no other options. Well, there is one other option. Fully, utterly stupid. Sorry, but that's the truth. Libs at TikTok said, hi, FBI Louisville might want to look into this. Bric-a-brac, this person here, said Interstate 64 near Louisville, Kentucky, the resistance is in full swing. Elon wanted dead, and they've crossed out alive. Wow. Yeah, hello, FBI. You might want to look into that. And this person here. Senator Babette said Chinese warships have conducted live fire drills dangerously close to the coast of New South Wales, forcing commercial flights to be diverted, yet our leaders do nothing. This isn't just a provocation, it's a direct... No, it's China going, nah, sucko, this is what we can do. You can do nothing about it. Canada's mapping our waters. No, China's mapping our waters, spying on our communications and testing our defences, all while our government looks the other way. Make no mistake, they're preparing for something far worse. These drills are rehearsals for future blockades and conflicts where they could choke our supply chains and cripple our economy overnight without firing a shot. When the time comes, they won't need to fire a shot. They'll have already done the groundwork, and our government's cowardice is paving the way for our downfall. Both major parties are to blame. They've gutted our industries, sold out our sovereignty and handed China the keys to our future. This would never happen under my leadership. Australia needs strong leaders, not weak, spineless, beta males and toxic females more worried about getting re-elected and being liked by radical woke leftists than about defending and protecting the nation. Our nation's on the brink. If you want to save it, vote differently. My full support to Sue LMW and the trumpet of patriots. Go the trumpet of patriots. I'm on their side now. Out of all of those small parties, the trumpet of patriots gets my vote, if I could vote. I've got to become I should have joined in on the weekend with all those Australian citizenship things, except they wouldn't have let me because I'm white. It was only for the Muslims. Clown World said, imagine this being this entitled, a woman who enjoys every freedom and luxury in this country because of the sacrifices of our military is mad that they get a 10% discount. Meanwhile, she probably supports free handouts for illegals. Pathetic. For some reason, I think this lady's Canadian. Tell me, Menacing Muskrat. Yeah, Menacing Muskrat, you're in here. Is this in a Canadian accent? Okay, ready for this?
You know, this might not be a popular topic, but I have an opinion about the military. I don't like that we give our military guys 10% discounts and different things at different businesses. Because they're already living off the taxpayer dollar. And some of them get benefits, you know, on different places throughout their life, even after they're not serving. So even if they went and served a year, they're like, oh, I still get a discount for the rest of my life because I served for 1 year. Like, what about us who are paying for those taxes for our whole life? And we get no break. We get no benefit for supporting our military and for paying for them all these years. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. They get benefits for so many different things. And then they can like still go on base even after they're out, and they can get tax-free food and like buy it on base, and like I don't know. I don't even know all the stuff that happens that they get all these benefits, but I don't like it. I think we should get benefits, not them.
Is she fucking nuts? Sorry, she might not be Canadian, she may be American, but regardless of where she comes from, right? Does she not realise they put their life on the line for her? All of us? Even if the wars were banker wars and oil wars, right? Our armies did what they think was the best thing, the soldiers themselves, and they died for it. And they're injured, and some of them have severe PTSD. She can get fucked, seriously. Sorry. She can just go and, yeah, eat less, love. Jesus. Okay, Laura Loomis said exclusive. Draw Bickle, the lawyer hired by Sinclair Ashley to sue Elon Musk for custody of their child, is an Israeli anti-Trump lawyer who's a former foreign judicial clerk for the Supreme Court of Israel. Draw Bickle has a long history of attacking Elon Musk. See screenshots of his writing and book excerpts below. Okay, the Israeli lawyer once wrote a book called The 1% Divorce When Titans Clash that has an entire chapter dedicated to President Trump's divorces. Draw used his Trump hatred to promote his book sales. The book was published in 2020. Draw once attacked Elon Musk while he was promoting his legal businesses as a high-profile divorce lawyer and said, "These high-powered, successful billionaires often leave a train wreck of social life. The classic example, frankly, is Elon Musk. He owns so many foundational, important, cutting-edge companies, and it's non-stop. He's been in and out of many more relationships. He actually was married to the same woman more than once, and the trail of destruction on his social life is a direct consequence of, I think, his non-stop ambition, and this is what happens with some people." According to Draw's bio on the Jewish Empowerment Training Network, which he is the founder of, Draw is involved in Israeli advocacy through his leadership in the Friends of Israel Defense Forces and is an award-winning trial attorney. Draw holds a second degree in Black Belt in Krav Maga, created and led the volunteer security service at his local synagogue, and was the lead trainer for other Jewish security members. Draw also attacked President Trump and Netanyahu for their role in the Abraham Accords. His attack was published in an op-ed he wrote for Times of Israel called An Apology to My Israel Brothers and Sisters from a Liberal American Jew. It's worth noting that when Ashley Sinclair announced on Valentine's Day she had a baby with Elon Musk, I'd request a DNA test, she hired Brian Glicklick, okay, to do her PR for her against Elon. Glicklick once received $598,000 from Mer Security and Communication System, an Israeli security firm, for his efforts to influence US policy and public perception. It's worth noting that Draw Bickle once represented Judith Giuliani in 2022. Judith is the ex-wife of Trump attorney and longtime Trump ally Rudy Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, where Ashley lives in a swanky condo paid for by Elon Musk. Is Elon Musk potentially being targeted by a possible Israeli intelligence operation? Why is Ashley calling herself a MAGA influencer when she supported Governor Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy during the 2024 primary and has now hired a lawyer who not only hates Donald Trump but also wrote a book that has a whole chapter dedicated to attacking Trump over his divorces? How long has Ashley Sinclair been planning her attack on Trump admin official Elon Musk? Uh-huh. Yeah. There you go. Honeypot. It's either a honeypot or it's fake. I'd request a DNA test. Libs of TikTok said, pray for Maine. This is their governor. Yeah, the transgender one, look. It looks like a man. That is a man, actually. Bunch of idiots. No wonder they're not following Trump's policies. MJ Truth Alter said, breaking Pentagon shocker last night. Trump and Secretary of Defense Hegseth unleashed a Friday night massacre. Fired axed Joints of Chief Staff General Brown, Navy Chief, Air Force Vice Chief, and more. Trump promoted Lieutenant General Razin Kane as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Yes, that mysterious Razin Kane we've heard so much about. Raising Kane. Raising Kane? Raisin Kane. Yes, that Raisin Kane who defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. Raisin Kane. Raising Kane. Okay, Real Ben said they admit it and laugh about it openly, but we're the bad guys for noticing. Larry David, listen to this one.
So, you know, a lot of sexual harassment stuff in the news of late, and I couldn't help but notice a very disturbing pattern emerging, which is that many of the predators, not all, but many of them, are Jews. And I have 3 words to say to that. Oy vejmir.
Telling us in front of the whole world, really. Comes off as comedy. Okay, Wall Street Ape said, here's the real story of Mexican illegal migrants that are here in America. The media would never tell you. In Mexico, they just announced, because the ones that are being deported say they're broke, that they're going to give free rent, the place to live, and free food, and the locals are pissed in the comments section. It blew up. He explains how the people living in Mexico feel about the Mexicans in America being deported back. The Mexican people don't want their Mexican migrants back. They don't want their tax dollars going to feeding and housing these people. The Mexican people say only their criminals went over to America. They say their crime rate is going to go back up now that they're being deported back, and much more. Donald Trump was right again. The people who came illegally from Mexico are the freeloading criminals. And he just says the same thing I just said, pretty much. They don't want them back. Insurrection Barbie said Gavin Newsom sent Congress a $40 billion request for federal aid. It must come with conditions: mandatory voter ID, mandatory brush removal and clean-up, fix the water reservoirs. But to be honest, if we could just get mandatory voter ID, that would be a game changer. 80% of the population supports voter ID. One day, one vote, on paper, in person, no machines, valid voter ID, and in pen. It should be in pen, not pencil either. Like here in Australia, they want you to do it in pencil. I'd take a pen anyway. Sydney Powell said brilliant to crowdsource waste in government. Mario Norfolk said Doge cancels $217 million contract after Citizen Tip saves $40 million. Doge's crowdsourcing strategy pays off. A follower's tip led to a termination of a questionable 23-year, $217 million energy conservation contract for just 25 buildings. Team Elon says this proves the power of the public oversight. When Americans spot government waste, Doge acts and the savings add up fast. So if there's any way that you see government waste in the USA, let them know. They'll go after it. And Mitch and Kim's page shared said, Santa Trump. He's going to sing so he doesn't swing. Santa Trump said he's going to swing. Let's have a look.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges.
There you go. You don't get to hear about the charges, but there you go. And not only that, I believe Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer has resigned. I'm not sure, not 100% sure, but I believe that's what's happened. He said, I cannot do it. I cannot. And he might be in trouble too. I don't know. Gunther Eagleman said, while we have the House, Senate and White House, we should immediately pass new voting laws, paper ballots, same-day voting, voter ID cards, proof of citizenship. If we don't do it, the left will continue to cheat and we deserve to lose. There you go. Senator Babette said any man that wants to dress up as a sexually provocative woman and dance for children in a sexually charged way should have his laptop and phone searched for child abuse material, then be placed on a watch list. What is this? Yeah, but they've been doing it for years. Freaking, honestly. Why would you want to do that in front of children? Why not keep it in the clubs? Weirdos. Elon Musk put that up. German? Yep. Inevitable West said AFD politician Bjorn Hock erupts. Germany is our country, our land, our nation. Germany is non-negotiable. Let's take our country back. Unfortunately, they only got 20% of the vote. But look, if you deported everyone, I believe they probably won. 17 Absolute Red Ducks 76 said, I don't believe this this to be a coincidence considering Grok 3 seems to know all about Q. Very interesting, isn't it? Funny that Grok seems to know all about it. Hang on, what happened there? That was very weird. What? That just did something really weird. Okay. Why did that happen? Hang on a sec. See if it does it again. No. I did a little digging with Grok. Warning, it's fairly long. For now, it's progress. I believe the knockout is still coming. Enjoy the ringside seat. And here's to seeing how it lands. No, it wasn't AI. It was people. The operation's actual purpose is to covertly expose systemic corruption within government, media and elite circles, sparking grassroots awakening to hidden truths. A grassroots awakening, not a controlled one, right? Initiated by insiders, likely military or intelligence operatives, it uses cryptic online drops to bypass mainstream narratives, encouraging critical thinking and collective investigation among the public. Beyond dismantling entrenched power structures, it aims to shift societal consciousness towards accountability and self-governance, leveraging a blend of real intel and strategic ambiguity to disrupt complacency and empower individuals to reclaim agency in a manipulated world. That's what it's about. Christine said, can anyone enlighten me, please? Is it normal practice for the Oz Electoral Commission to be present at citizenship awards to hand out how to vote pamphlets? Plus, there are 12,500 citizenship awards given so close to a federal election. Also, the normal practice is Tony Burke sus, yes, yes, and yes. Yep, the AEC, the Australian Electoral Commission, is now a fully owned subsidiary of the ALP. God help Australia. Craig Kelly said this should be taught in every school. People in authority lie, and the job in a democracy is to remain sceptical. Don't blindly accept official narratives. The way to do research is not by asking authoritative figures what they think. Be science, be based, and ask to see evidence yourself. Trusting experts is not a feature of science. It's not a feature of democracy. It's a feature of religion and totalitarianism. They are also some of the basic principles of the Libertarian Party. Wide Awake Media said a Newsweek reporter asked RFK Jr. why he doesn't stop promoting conspiracy theories. This was his reply. My father told me when I was a little boy that people in authority lie and the job in a democracy is to remain sceptical. I've been science-based since I was a kid. Show me the evidence and I'll believe you, but I'm not going to take the word of official narratives. The way you do research is not by asking authoritative figures what they think. Trusting experts is not a feature of science, and it's not a feature of democracy. It's a feature of religion and totalitarianism. Okay? Just so you know. Question everything. And Tim Poole is announcing the birth of his and Alison's first child. Congratulations, Tim Poole. We are struggling through and need help. The doctor keeps insisting our baby is a girl, but every time we ask they, them, they gurgles or cries. How do we inform the doctor they, them hasn't chosen them's gender yet? He's being funny, I believe. But I'm hoping that's right. Then he actually is having a baby. In all seriousness, though, literally no nurse or doctor has entertained any of the gender nonsense. There are pre-made stickers and signs for boys and girls because regular people aren't retarded. So they are having a baby. He was just joking about the they, them stuff. Billboard Chris said, Justin's a loser, always has been. He's done a very bad job for Canada. He's taken it radical left, sort of a nice guy, but he's a loser. Thank you, President Trump. Nothing but truth there, from Billboard Chris. James Melville said, I'm rather fond of quirky old-fashioned words. Here are some of my favourites. See if you recognise any of these words. Skedaddle, nincompoop, highfalutin, collywobbles, malarkey, comeuppance, skullduggery, kerfuffle, flamoxed, thingamajig, tomfoolery, shenanigans, hoodwink, blethering, hullabaloo, curmudgeon, whippersnapper, and bamboozled. Do you recognise any of them? This is even funnier. When the whippersnapper tried to hoodwink the curmudgeon with some highfalutin malarkey about a thingamajig that caused a kerfuffle, the old nincompoop, flummoxed by the tomfoolery and blethering, skedaddled away from the shenanigans, only to get the collywobbles from the hullabaloo of skullduggery, leaving the bamboozled young'un to face their comeuppance. What the fuck? Oh, I don't know why I put that in, but yes, it was funny. Elon Musk said 100%. Defiant L said, I'm dying. When your USAID slush fund gets doged and you can't afford paid protesters. And that's all that's left. Betty Johnson said, Baltazar, Tom Homan is an absolute savage. What a way to kick off a speech. Look, let me start off by saying this. If I offend anybody today, I don't give a shit. Neither do I. Clive Palmer, head of the Trumpets in Australia, right? The new party. Tucker is a good friend and a great patriot of Clive Palmer, who's running the Trumpet of Patriots. Okay, Elon Musk said we live in the best timeline. What's going on here?
We're also going to Fort Knox. I'm going to go with Elon. And would anybody like to join us? Because we want to see if the gold is still there. We want to see. Wouldn't that be terrible? We open up.
Yep. He wants to go and see for himself. Okay. Elon Musk said this is fake. Reuters is lying. They're second only to AP Associated Propaganda as legacy news liars. The Kiev Independent said US threatens to shut off Starlink if Ukraine won't sign minerals deal. Well, it's a load of bullshit. Road Knight said, imagine if judges and magistrates were on a point system similar to driver's licence. They lose a point for each time a person they've released on bail commits an offence for which there is 1 year minimum jail, 2 for 2 years, etc. Many wouldn't last long. It's a fanciful idea, of course, but how many times do we hear that young people especially are granted bail multiple times? Below, 250 priors granted bail 25 times before absconding. How many victims whilst on bail? Who's responsible? For too long now, the needle has swung in the wrong direction to the rights of criminals. But what about the rights of ordinary law-abiding citizens to feel and actually be safe? If I understand correctly, bail is granted on certain conditions, which may include a curfew, restrictions on internet, etc., but always, and to be of good behaviour. Clearly, new alleged offences, on balance of probability do not satisfy the latter. Any breach should forfeit bail. It's time to protect society, not thug criminals. Yeah, and magistrates too should. Judges and magistrates should lose out if someone they've released commits a crime. Cat Canada said 80% of Muslim-majority countries are authoritarian hellholes. 100% of the Protestant or Catholic majority countries are highly functioning free societies. The genuine observer will recognise the causal connection, In other words, keep Islam out of the West. And it does. Elon Musk said, will do, Mr. President. Donald J. Trump said, Elon's doing a great job, but I'd like to see him get more aggressive. Remember, we have a country to save, but ultimately to make greater than ever before again. MAGA. Okay. Dan Nolan said Australians actively getting poorer is driving people fucking insane, brutal and furious. People are freaking out over dumb posts, losing it at news and media. It's traumatising as hell to get actively poorer and lower agency in such a short time. Tell me about it, mate, but it's all to show people because they won't freaking listen. And now, like pepper spray, right, is illegal in Australia, okay? But apparently, you can get muscle rescue heat spray, right? Can you imagine that? Just as effective, as well as great for sore muscles post-training. Okay? Hello, Australia? Yep. Sounds good. I'm not encouraging anything, guys. Senator Babette said Zelensky needs to be removed. No more Australian dollars or Australian support to prolong this war. It's time to negotiate it and end it. Elon Musk said Zelensky should not have murdered an American journalist. He didn't even understand why that was bad. Yep. Tucker Carlson and Bob Amsterdam reveal the truth about the Zelensky government in Ukraine. Zelensky jails or sanctions or charges with treason his opponents. He destroyed free media. He sends his secret police to churches. A lot of people are being killed. He's beaten our priests, beaten our parishioners, and I have all this on video. Zelensky's secret police wear death masks with Nazi insignias on their arm. He's destroyed civil society. They've committed a lot of violence. A lot of people have been killed. Non-combatants have been killed by the Zelensky government, and there you go. Okay, Gunther Egerman said, and the American taxpayers are forced to fund this. Sickening. We all are. Yep, we all are. Don't you worry. Jeremy Kyle said, I think to me this picture from 2024 more than any other symbolises Europe in the 21st century. A police officer subduing the victim of an Islamist attack, while the Islamist, who's been detained by patriotic citizens, broke free and stabbed the police officer in the back, killing him. Germany has a pivotal election coming up today now. As a general rule, I don't tell citizens of other countries how to vote, but let's hope Germany chooses wisely. Ah, dear me. What a mess. Matthew Kamenzuli said, are our politicians a problem? Yes, they are. Both sides of Australian politics have let us down. Labor Party riddled with unions and careerists, and the Liberal Party riddled with self-serving careerists have driven us to the precipice of oblivion. We're at the precipice, guys. We import our own cheap resources at record price to please the climate gods. Meanwhile, industry is falling over or worse into the hands of useless politicians and bureaucrats. Australia is teetering on the brink of absolute collapse. Over 20% of us work for the government now as it runs out of money. It is paying record levels of wages and benefits, as many public servants even have the choice of turning up to the office. It's obscene. The Labor Party hit the accelerator as the Liberals helped them steady the wheel. Nothing controversial but the absolute destruction of our wealth, prosperity and global standing. They have made this once great and resilient nation a global laughingstock, a cheap resource pit with excellent lobster, a soft-bellied and sleepy form of middle power, without so much as the ability to make a car. Everyone did their part, from the corporates to the unions to the academics to the media. Everyone fixated on the quick and easy buck, the path of least resistance. No concern for our future or our children. They all sit as passengers as we ignore the wrong way signs. The road lights stream past in warp speed lines. Those of us sitting at the back are getting motion sickness as our friends and family struggle to afford the basics. Forget buying a house and starting a family, better just hang on and look for the bucket. It's absolutely disgusting. The opportunities squandered, the possibilities ruined, and the hope of a nation burning in the fuel tank of our giant bus headed for the cliff. They're either too greedy, too lazy, or too daft to run things. Careerists and grifters navigating this road to nowhere on our behalf. Panels falling off, seats worn out, and an engine with just enough left in it to get us over the edge. We don't need more of the same of any of this. We need real and meaningful change. We need to hit the brakes and restore this bus. We need to restore Australia in every way. Energy, industry, the judiciary, the media, social policy, and every other element of what made us great. All destroyed in the name of sustainability and equity. All a false premise, and without a doubt, the face of the cliff we're about to descend. It's not too late to stop this. We need real people in Parliament. We need people who care about this country and know how to fix it. It is why I'm challenging Chris Bowen and McMahon. Oh my God. I don't want to be a politician, but I'm tired of being led by politicians, so here I am. Come and help. Let's restore Australia. I just want Australia back. Yeah, we've had longer than 35 years of sustainable development, believe me. Insurrection Barbie said Kash Patel's not messing around. 1,500 FBI agents are being transferred from the Washington, D.C. headquarters to various locations across the nation. 1,000 agents and staff will be reassigned to the cities the Trump administration has designated higher crime locations where they can fight crime rather than engage in political shenanigans. Another 500 staff will be reassigned to Huntsville, Alabama. Promises made, promises kept. Well done. Okay, the White Rabbit podcast said, who the fuck's coming up with these laws? Noisy cars to get fined. Seriously, this place is now run by dead-set criminals. $85 for tobacco, $40 for cheap wine, $100 to have lunch for 2 people, $25 bag of lychees, $1,200 electric bills, $100 to fill up your car. You're fined for fixing your car at home. Will be fined for having sex soon because the government don't make money from it. Only paid for sex allowed. New high-tech road cameras catching out drivers as authorities take aim at noisy vehicles. Oh, whoop-de-fucking-do. Who cares about noisy vehicles? They're all over the road, hello. Ever heard of truck? PWH Team Australia said this utter nonsense has to stop. One of South Australia's greatest icons and Australia's largest lake is now off limits. Aboriginal custodians and their bureaucratic enforcers have banned all access to Lake Erie. From tourists to sporting clubs that use it for recreation, all this has done is stripped Australians of their right to enjoy another natural wonder that belongs to all of us, not just a select few. Oh, my God. Mick Amias said, great, now do this to Australia also. Problem solved as they migrate back home. GB Politics said, new Muslim Council of Britain says banning halal slaughter would mean Muslims would leave Britain. Well, do it. For goodness sake, do it. Lisa Rosen said Muslims in Australia can't cry Islamophobia after One Nation leader Pauline Hanson has called for the visas of Gazan Muslims to be revoked. Do you agree with her, yes or no? I absolutely do. The people of Gaza showed the entire world what they're capable of. Look, you're an Israeli, I understand, right? But I do agree with with Pauline Hanson. And they don't mix. And I'm actually wondering about the rest of yous too. Daisy May said just weeks ago Elon Musk asked his followers if someone would put their hand up to make a show called 69 Minutes on his social media platform, X. Now, in a bizarre turn of events, Australian presenter Erin Molan has announced she's the host of a newly created series. Premiering February 23rd in the US, the weekly online news show claims to deliver hard-hitting news from journalists around the world. Musk 53 has pledged to fund the production of the bulletin in his call-out post on February 7th. Anyone want to create a hard-hitting show on X called 69 Minutes? I'll actually fund it, the Tesla co-founder wrote. How Molan 41 came to be involved is a mystery. The US social media personality Mario Norful, who hosts his own social media show, announced he was bringing it to audiences in a post shared Saturday. The next nail in legacy media comes smashing down, inspired by Elon Musk and hosted by Erin Molan. Norful 30 wrote, served unfiltered, unbiased and raw every Sunday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. I bet we'll get higher ratings than the other old hack of a show that shall not be named. We are the media now. There you go. Okay. Doge Designer said America's winning. Senator Babette said Australia is next. I have hope that within my lifetime things will change for the better. Oh, fucking hope so. And Shadow of Ezra said the Vatican has announced that Pope Francis is in critical condition after experiencing a severe asthmatic respiratory crisis this morning. Though still in danger, the Pope has spent the day resting in an armchair. The end could be near for Pope Francis, just in time for Epstein's list to come out. Pretty sure Pope Francis is the Joe Biden of popes. The damage Pope Francis has done to the Catholic Church pushing woke ideology is unbelievable. There's a difference between tolerance and telling your followers that it's okay to ignore the word of God to not upset others. And Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano was excommunicated from the church by order of the now very sick Pope Francis and issued a grave warning, alleging that the Pope is an enthusiastic collaborator in the Great Reset. He claims that the Pope's goal was to dismantle the church and replace it with an organisation inspired by Masonic principles. He further contends that a sinister conspiracy exists between the deep state and the deep church, reminding us that the Pope is a Jesuit. There you go. Yep, they're going to look for the gold. Yep, we've seen all that. Okay, that's it for today on the news. Let's go back as far as we can. Oh, look, I got right to the beginning. There's not many people on this morning. Okay, hey, Starchild, how you going? Dan Michael said, it's been a while. Hi from New Hampshire. How you going, Dan? Deb said, I would love to do it too, Hev. Dan said, stuff is hitting the fan. J1 said, gonna need a bigger fan. Zena said, time to take out the garbage. J1 said, Adam Schiff was specifically only pardoned. J6, nothing else. I've seen the pardons. Yeah, but are they legit? Deb said, who's the Chinese police station in our country? Really mean. Yep, J1 said only pardon for J6. Hey, go missing muskrat. Zena said, hey there, Deb, love to all in the chat. J1 said, Deb, they're all Chinese police stations. Zena said they're playing games of irrelevance. Everyone's saying hello. George is here. How you going, George? And Deb said, yes, you're still good. Zena said, my cat is sitting on my computer chair, so I'm walking around, lols. Deb said, while talking about our government, you are back now. Oh, okay. So it was loading while I was talking about the government. Oh, nice one. Is that E. Karen bitch out there anywhere? Hello? Are you out there? Listen to me, you fucking see you in the NT, right? Fuck off. Go back to America, love. We don't want you here. And as for our government, you can fuck off too. Straight to Gitmo for the lot of you. Deb said, I had the waiting for Hev open, and when the live started, I couldn't find where I could message. I thought I banned myself. Oh, no, Deb, don't do that. J1 said, Pam could handcuff me anytime. On you, J1. Luna, how you going? Good to see ya. How are the babies? J1 said, Deb, I was typing out loud. Everyone's saying hello. Deb said, Tim Ayres spot on. Yep, with she forgot the CAA, Creative Artists Agency. Menacing Muskrat said, Peter paying Paul. Zena said, is there a secret CIA department in ASIO? Probably. Zena, probably. Deb said, there seemed to be a hidden agenda in most agencies. Sherry said, hello, sorry I'm late making dinner. How you going, Sherry? Good to see ya. Zena. J1 said, there's a push for Jacinta Price to be Australia's hero and head our Doge. I don't buy it one bit. Zero trust in that proposal, but Aussies are gullible as fuck. Yeah, I know. J1, I don't trust it either. Not when she's in the Liberal Party. No, I don't trust that at all. Menacing Muskrat said, Sherry, I'm running behind too, trying to catch up. Deb said, not late, Sherry, have started late. Yeah, I started an hour and a half ago. Yeah, but when you joined in, I only started half an hour before. So, Deb said self-licking ice cream. J1 said Hev's been on for 33 minutes, might be a deep state op. Deb said they couldn't find it before. Zena said anyone who believes any of this shiz is clearly lost. Deb said it's a great show. Red and green should never be seen. Dad joke, yeah, without something in between. J1 said, Krasnov the Great, lol. Menacing Muskrat said, question, do you think all the gold from the Vatican is in Fort Knox? Huge amount of gold is in the Grand Canyon. Oh, I don't know. Menacing Muskrat, interesting. J1 said, Trump and military have Vatican gold, I'm sure. Deb said, I love the word opportunity. J1 said, they found shitloads more of gold in the Alps as well. Oh, wow. They've been burying it. I wonder if they should check that seed vault out. There's probably something in there. Luna said, my phone went flat, but I'm back now. George said, illegals should not be allowed to vote. Menacing Muskrat said, tunnels from Rome to Jerusalem. That's a lot of gold. Zena said, the left love to point, clap, and yell at you. Part of their speeches. George said, they don't like people thinking for themselves. Menacing Muskrat said, we are strong, always use discernment. Research, yes. Deb said, I'll have to ask why they protest at Parliament, a.k.a. some of our family, other than lockdown. I'm wondering why they're still not screaming. George said, they're lining their pockets and bank accounts with taxpayer money. J1 said, George, they use this for your safety bullshit to build a virtual prison. Zena said, after listening to all that acquired wealth. Luna said, I'm going to head off and have a lay down. I'm not feeling well today. I hope you feel better soon, Luna. God love you. Zena said, I think we need to redefine what a white supremacist is. George said, take care, Luna, get well soon. Menacing Muskrat said, take care, Luna. Yep, hope you're feeling better soon. Everyone sends their love and prayers for you. Zeta said, this explains structures up on top of the mountains. Deb said, where we go one, we go over the edge. We go all over the edge. Zena said, lonely castles all the way up there. Zena said, Eric Holder, yes. Dell said, good evening, wild colonial boys and girls. Tips hat, how you going, Dell? Good to see ya. George said, I thought Trudeau resigned. Yeah, it's not till May? I don't know. Deb said, I heard he would be resigning. Zena said, might be Meghan Markle, please. Who knows? Menacing Muskrat said, the People's Voice on Rumble's great resource. Zena said, well, George, you know they speak double-speak, never meaning what they say. Menacing Muskrat says, George, still waiting for someone to replace Trudeau as leader for the Liberal Party. Zena said, yeah, that script from Schiff was laughable and pathetic. I know. Yeah, so does George, yep. J1 said, Germany just raided citizens for memes during an election. Sound familiar? Yep. Menacing Muskrat said, Shifty Shift makes my skin crawl, diseased piece of shit. I know. Zena said, and here was me thinking Schiff had fallen into memory hole. No, he's still around. Menacing Muskrat said, I know POS has resurfaced, but why? Because it's about to get done. Deb said, yes, you cannot show the dirtbags running our own country is really up to. Dell said, Deb, good evening, ma'am, bows and tips hat, and I put the links in there. Deb said, all the dirtbags will live high on the hog after Parliament for the rest of their greedy lives, and they shouldn't be allowed to. Dell said, UK couldn't go to war with the Isle of Man. No, they couldn't. J1 said, imaginary billions. George said, Starmer talks out of his ass. Yes, they all do. It might as well be a butt on TV talking. Menacing Muskrat said, Canadistan has no military either, so sad here, I'm depressed. Yeah, well, Australia doesn't have one either. Really. Like, we have a military, but not much of a military. Like, if China did decide to invade, well, half of their people are already here. I don't know. They don't have to. They've already... Our politicians are paid for. Okay, everyone's announcing what time it is there. 10:13 in Adelaide, South Australia at that time. 4:44 where Menacing Muskrat is in Canada, and George said 11:45 p.m. I'm sure it's now 12:25 p.m. Zena said, Menacing Muskrat, they're all being forced to step into the spotlight and run the impossible gauntlet. Yes, they're being exposed. Joanne Nelson, how you going? 10:45 a.m. Newcastle, Port Stephens, where the shark took someone. Oh, no. J1 said they got it right when they called them parties. That's all they do is party. Zena said, party off the sweat of our backs. Must be something in that sweat. They can't get enough. Conchega said, try consuming 60% less food. Yes, to that lady. J1 said, send the bitch to the front line now. Yeah. And see how she likes it. Deb said, green eyes much, yeah. Zena said, what about the politicians? They're worse. Zena said, academics, judges. Joanne said they can be called up any time at any age. Menacing Muskrat said, could be a Canadian, but an Eastern Canada or American. Okay, yep. It's just that, like, some words she pronounced, I thought, that sounds more Canadian. I don't know. I was listening to it on my phone, though, so I don't know. And there's only certain words, if they say, that I can really say that, that's Canadian, you know? J1 said, yow, yowie. Sherry said, because they sacrificed their life for your country, you dumb bitch. Sorry, ignorance on this makes me mad. I know, me too. I couldn't believe I was watching, like I watched it and went, are you fucking kidding me? There's a reason they get that, you dipshit. Deb said, I don't like fat cows and disrespecting the military. Yeah, exactly. Sherry said, a lot of the military come home with lost limbs, PTSD. They'll never mentally be the same. Yeah, exactly. Conchega said, Sherry, yes, they will, as medbeds incoming. Oh, yeah, they will when it comes, yeah. George said it needs removing. Deb said she is showing how ignorant she is. Zena said it used to be called star jumps. Now it's trans dancing. Yeah, exactly. J1 said Democrats think transparent is a man with a baby. Del said PTSD people, temper Scottish descendants. Menacing Muskrat said, so sad. A lot of my students. Hey, Susie, how you going? Good to see ya. Susie said, have you guys talked about the Pope yet? J1 said, Susie, isn't he dead? No, he's just in, that was yesterday. It could be dead now. I don't know. George said, I blame a lot of parents for taking their kids to this crap. Menacing Muskrat said, Susie, is he still in critical condition? J1 said, I thought they lost the connection to the hologram and he passed on, lol. Susie said, J1, not yet, I don't think, but soon, right after Trump got in, Fulford said the Pope would be next. Stu to you said, dropping in to say hello and goodbye on the road. Have a good one, Stu. Susie said, let's all pray Bishop Vigano gets in. Sherry said, saw that they're going to start vaxing the chicken eggs and they're now trying to bribe people with free beer and other freebies again to get a jibber jabber jibber. Here we go again. Say no. Easy. Didn't do it last time, won't do it this time. Stu said, thanks, guys. Might head down to the river and take a buffhead for a walk. Have a good one. Menacing Muskrat said, Pope Francis, a.k.a. Peter the Roman, is the 112th Pope and the last Pope. George said, I've heard this as well, Menacing. Deb said, all good one. Yeah, all of them. Menacing Muskrat said, St. Malachi prophecy. Susie said, Bishop Vigano is the bishop that blew the whistle on COVID, tried to stop the Belgian bishops pushing ahead with same-sex blessings in church, live abortion and euthanasia. J1 said, dingbat, flog. Dell said, skullduggery too, and on the fiddle and sling, your hooks, all from the seafaring terms. J1 said, asswipe, dick nose. Menacing Muskrat said, remember the Hopi timeline? We've been on it for a few years now. Yes, I remember looking into the Hopi Indians and their timeline. Menacing Muskrat said, be right back, got to feed the horses. Susie said, Petrus Romanus, not sure about that, but I think that what has to happen is that a new church will rise up that will go back to the first church from the book of Acts. George said, the Hopi are Native Americans who primarily live in northeastern Arizona. Menacing Muskrat said the Hopi eat petroglyphs, Arizona. Deb said they're all bum buddies, Labor and Liberal. Del said Brie to be conquered unicorn madness. Deb said, yes, Menacing, so many places I want to see in America. Yeah, I want to see America too, and Canada. J1 said, zombie apocalypse, can't wait, it's been practicing on my Xbox. George said, I love Native American flute music. Zena said, we're in the system of the abomination which causes desolation. Okay, where am I? Here somewhere. Deb said, I use a lot of American Indian music when I give massage. Nice, Deb. J1 said, Zena while accepting the Great Deception. Deb said, truck. J1 said, put a candle in the window. Susie said, well, that's the thing. The timelines keep changing. We've had at least 5 since Christmas. J1 said, because I feel I got to move. Deb said, giving Hev a thumbs up does make a difference, so please help if you can. George said, Pope Francis does not look like a holy man. Dell said, Vatican infiltrated by Satanist man. Calvi, the Black Friars, Hitler, Fubar. Susie said, hi, Hev, forgot to greet you. How are you? I'm all right. How are you, Susie? Good to see you. Deb said, yes, the Jesuits have infiltrated the Vatican. Could be that evil that is in the Vatican. Yep. Deb said, beep, beep, beep. Dell said, Deb, 100% bang on. George said, yeah, Deb. Zena said, Hev, I didn't say hello to you. Sorry, dear. Awesome news. Zena said, do you think they're deliberately distorting the frequencies and corralling us into groups? Possibly. Zena said, some more susceptible than others for certain kinds of thinking. Yeah, I don't know. Just still a lot of people in Australia asleep, man. Where's that big event that wakes everyone up? Come on. Zena said, I heard there's 97 trillion in gold in the Philippines. Deb said, 11:55 a.m. Adelaide, South Australia. Zena said, didn't Winey die at the Standard Hotel? Whitney Houston. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, may have. I don't know. I didn't know where Whitney Houston had actually died, like where she was. Deb said, the infamous Standard Hotel, yes. Zena said, if China invade all land north of Tamworth is relinquished, they cannot defend the north sufficiently. Susie said, they say there's a black pope, Jesuits, grey pope, and the white pope that is shown to the public. Deb said, don't forget Colorado, Hev, we can visit Timmy. Yeah, definitely Colorado's got to be in there. Zena said, is there a red pope? He's in a chair, lols. J1 said, been putting it off this year, but I'm getting goats and chooks. Oh, lovely, J1. Zena said, shouldn't laugh, but well, you know. Deb said, black popes, grey popes. Zena said, lucky you, J1. Conchega said, we do not have politicians. We have employees of a corporation posing as government, which I might add was dissolved in 2021. Zena said, I wish for myself too. And with that, guys, I'm going to go. We're going to go over to Rumble, and Timmy will probably join us over on Rumble, I'm hoping. And I have a couple of posts to read out. Susie said, they say the new flu influenza A is going around as bad as COVID. Just say no. Zena said, miniature ghosts, though. And Deb said, red as cardinal. Anyway, with that, guys, I will see you over on Rumble in about 5 or 10 minutes, hopefully. Okay, bye, guys.